It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television. And you are watching First Warning Live, where we're focused on all things weather. And we're talking about some like it warm in January, but will it last? Come on now, think about that question, Aldrich. Do you really have to ask me that question? Now, did I mention we're sponsored by Marco's Pizza? Because we do get hungry from time to time, but the question goes back and the question still remains. Some like it warm in January, but will it last? No, it's January. Today felt like mid to late April. Did you notice? Did you notice how warm it was today? I think some of you did. In fact, we hit this morning, I'll take it full screen. We hit 49 degrees, 49 in Norfolk. That's what I expected. We expected to hit 49. That happened precisely at 5:40 a.m. And we hit 69 degrees, which was 2 degrees warmer. 2 degrees warmer than I thought. I think it's 67. Silly me. We hit 69 at 3:12 this afternoon. 3:12? It doesn't even happen in the latter part of the afternoon because the days are short, right? We're still in January, but we hit 71 in Suffolk. Ding, 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 ding. We hit 73 in Edenton. Let's give everybody a shout out in Edenton. Chowan County, congratulations. You were, in fact, one of the warmer spots. Gloucester, showing a good number here, 68, both in not only Gloucester, but Williamsburg. Yorktown, we were talking about Newport News, 69. 70 day in Hampton. We could celebrate these numbers. Manio, Roanoke Island, Wanchese, about 67. And even Wallops Island at 64. Not bad. Why do I say not bad? Because the normal high is 51, or give or take. 51's based out of Norfolk International, but most of us are in the low 50s this time of year. Some of us were 10, 15, 20 degrees warmer than that. Were you excited about that? Did that make you mad if you're a snow fan? Because we talked about this other thing yesterday. I mentioned that yesterday, it really happened January 6th, 7th, and 8th. I'm talking about the blizzard of 1996. Our friends at the National Weather Service in Wakefield shared this image with us on their Facebook page, and we had a whopping 6 to 12 inches of snow in Hampton Roads, if you're old enough to remember it. And I did get some folks who said, yeah, I remember it. Judith said, yeah, I remember it. This is 23 hours old, but the comment still applies. And Ronald gave me a more detailed answer. I love this. I'll fly in here. He was saying that, he says, I was in Northern Virginia helping, figuring the storm with the snow and the ice, thunder snow, had thunder snow. You love that. That means it just snows faster and harder. And then it turned really bad. 12 days I was fighting the storm and snow removal in Vienna, Virginia. So some of us have pretty vivid memories of this particular storm. It was almost 3 feet or more across parts of this Commonwealth. We're talking Harrisonburg, JMU. Some areas had quite a bit of snow, 1, 2, 3 feet. That's a lot of snow, and not everybody had it. Not everybody. Some of you weren't even born in 1996. I didn't even come into existence until after that, Aldrich. Okay. But it is nice to reminisce sometimes. When weather does happen, it's interesting that it connected with some people, right? Judith and Ronald, thank you for your comment. It might be a day old, but I'm just now reading it. And it did resonate. It resonated with people. Sometimes storms do. But we're not there today. No. We're not even in record warmth, because if you look at the record high at the top of this screen, 76, 1907, who was president? Oh, I know. Teddy Roosevelt. You got to go back 119 years, 1907 to find a 76. I don't see any 76s here. I see some 71s. I see some 70s, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, but no 76. So it's a swing and a miss on the record high, but I do have some interesting little tidbits that you're probably not going to hear anywhere else, because no one's a weather geek like me to give you the context. That's kind of pompous for you to say, Aldrich, but it's true. How many of you did know we hit a record high in 2024? We hit 77. How many of you have been told that we had a record high last year, last day of the month? It was 73. And how many of you know that we're going to connect the dots, and this Saturday, January 10th, 2026, we're within striking distance of a 1957 record, going back 68 years in the making, back when Dwight D. Eisenhower was president, 72. 3 Januaries in a row. Record high temperatures. Nobody told me that. but you did, Aldrich. Ding, 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 ding. That's why we're first warning. Just thought to put some context. You seem pretty certain that we're going to get that record high. I think it's within reach, my friend. I think it's within reach. And just like this map that we showed you here, not everybody got to 70, but a lot of people did, right? Not everybody got to 71, but a lot of people did. And only Edenton, it seems, got to 73. But I digress. We've already looked at the record highs. If you are curious why I don't think a record high is within reach on Friday, is because I'm expecting 70. So I think the record high is a little more out of reach at 74. But I do think this Saturday, the 10th of January, is within striking distance. Hopefully that makes some sense, and hopefully I can move on so that you know where we're going. This warm spell, this little spring fever is just getting started, although we will get a pullback come tomorrow. Now we got a little bit of cloud, I should say lack of cloud cover right now, a little maybe some radar noise maybe over Rodanthe, as most of us are going to stay nice and starry tonight, but it will be a little cooler. High pressure is centered around Athens, Ohio, around southeast Ohio, and in the Buckeye State, and as a result, temperatures tonight will drop down to the upper 30s for some, but low 40s for many of us in Virginia Beach, Norfolk, and Hampton Roads. Now, the low temperatures, remarkably warm for this time of year, because if you look at the normal, it's 34. And we've got 2 weekend mornings in the 50s. You're like, no way. I mean, these numbers exceed the normal highs, which is 51. 51 is our normal high this time of year. So if you think this is backwards, it's like the shoe to drop is the fact that we go to freezing come Monday morning. There'll be the frozen face. A lot of folks will be pumping gas on Monday morning going, what happened? Well, what happened is a cold front came through. That's why it's important to know what's coming. I like to point this stuff out so that you're not caught off guard. As I like to say many times before, so weather doesn't surprise you. You watch First Warning Live. That's why many of you do, or maybe just for the entertainment value of what I display here on this live stream. But I can tell you right now, Kim Thompson-Jones would describe today, as I've imported now the newer comments, she said, nice day. I agree. It has been a nice day. You know what's also nice? Having some discounted food. I'm talking about Marco's. Have you ever tried a Mike's Hot Honey? Some of you have no idea, but Mike's Hot Honey is 100% pure honey, but it's infused with real chili peppers and vinegar, and it's a signature balance of both sweet and spicy. The sweet and spicy flavor that enhances foods like pizza, fried chicken, cheese, desserts, and all the rest. And it was coming out of Brooklyn. It's become a #1 brand for versatile drizzling onto items. And the pizza that you see on the screen is on discount. Normally this is about $16.50, $17, with taxes even more. But if you use the promo code WTKR David, actually, no, make that, strike that, WTKR Sunny. WTKR David was last week's promo code. I'm getting ahead of myself, but if you use the WTKR Sunny, you can actually get Mike's Hot Honey for $10.99. I think that's a sweet deal. It's a sweet and spicy deal, but it's a deal all the same. Hopefully you'll check it out. There are 6 locations that are going to participate in that discounted price. There's 3 in Virginia Beach, 2 in Chesapeake, 1 in Norfolk. And tomorrow, you don't have to wait much longer. You may be the winner. You may not even know it, but your name may be drawn to win some free pizza for a year. If you haven't heard, we do this every Thursday, typically when vacations and holidays aren't upon us, and now that they're behind us, the Pizza for a Year certificate will have a winner's name announced tomorrow. You'll actually, if you win, you'll get a large 1-topping pizza every month for free, and you'll get one for every month of 2026. Isn't that cool? I think it's really sweet, and if you haven't tried the Pizzoli, it's a great lunch item. It's like a calzone or a stromboli, or the Magnifico pizza, signature pizza they make with the old World Cup style pepperoni. Check it out. But if you throw on some Mike's Hot Honey, makes it even better. Check it out. The medium $10.99 is available. And if you want to sign up, we would love for you to go to WTKR.com/Marcos to satisfy your appetite. All right, getting back to the weather, I do see some comments that are still coming in. Let's see here. Kim is saying it was crazy weather. She called it a nice day. Is this the same Kim Thompson-Jones? Nice day, Aldrich, but hey, crazy weather. I can't disagree. It's going to be up and down for sure. And I got a note from Taj Brown. He's also watching us live. Says, great evening. First Warning Live, folks. Glad to have you here. Thank you, Taj. And I believe Taj did win. He did win some pizza, individual pie, mind you, last week. And maybe it's en route to his mailbox very soon. But I can tell you this, very warm mornings are coming. It's not just the afternoons. It's the morning time frames that are exceptionally warm until we reach Monday. That's when things are going to go downhill in a hurry. Now, we're getting a little cooler tonight. We do get a pause, meaning we'll be back in the upper 30s, low 40s for lows tonight, and highs tomorrow will only be in the 50s. Only in the 50s? Yeah, well, it's still about 6 degrees above average, 6 degrees above normal. But you can already sense by looking at this map that the 24-hour temperature change is getting colder as compared to this time last night. Now, Williamsburg still holding its heat there, +4, but it's 12 degrees colder now in Suffolk and Franklin as compared to last night. So these are your current readings as of 7:50. We'll get a new update. We get every hour we get an update. But in the next few minutes, this may actually move down a bit. It is 46 in Chesapeake at the airport, 54 Portsmouth, 55 Hampton, 54 in Newport News. If you're in Duck, North Carolina, I expect your low to be around 47 in the morning, but there will clearly be some cooler numbers in the 30s over here. So let's just draw some 30s in here. We'll include Gloucester. We'll include Chincoteague. This is the cold area by tomorrow morning, and somebody says, oh, I didn't think it was supposed to be cold. One little pullback, the little pause comes tomorrow. But if you were to do the 30 drawing here, you got 30s up toward Waverly. Well, I guess we can include Matthews, Melfa, up around here. So it's kind of, you know what I'm saying. It's to the far west and north, about 42 for a low in Norfolk. By the way, I kind of gave it away. I mean, the weather trivia question, which was very, very pertinent. Our forecaster, Derek Getter, put this together at noon today. Maybe you know the answer. This way it helps me know who's watching. If there's anybody watching, I almost gave you the answer. Not almost, I did. If you were paying attention, the weather trivia question for today is how much snow fell in Norfolk during the blizzard of 1996? Is it A, 0 to 6 inches, B, 6 to 12 inches, or C, 12 to 18 inches? I can tell you Blaine Stewart was on the anchor desk at noontime today, and we're happy to see him back. He's going to be back in the morning later on too, but you'll be able to see him on a regular basis as he's back getting stronger in his health journey. By the way, what's going on? How many people have a guess? A, B, or C? I got a guess from Taj. He was paying attention. Ding, 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 ding. Taj, you're on fire. You're hotter than the Mike's Hot Honey right now. I don't know, like 6 out of 8, 6 for 8 of these trivia questions, but you got that one right. 6 to 12. I'm sure if you are keeping score, you do get a lot of these trivia questions accurately and correctly. Now, the temperature trend is a one-day special. I got, say, Saturday at 72. So this is the real warm day. But remember, 1957 is the record to beat. If we hit 72 on the nose, then we'll tie it. And then we'll actually put 2026 and 1957. They'll coexist on the weather record for the 10th of January. Again, if you're unfamiliar with how this typically works, it's not like we haven't been hotter than 72 before, but all 365 days, and even 366, I guess, of leap years, all of those days have record highs and record lows, among other records, like rainfall records or even snow. But 72 has never been, it's the low-hanging fruit. We've not been higher than 72 on the 10th of January since 68 years ago, since 1957. That's where that comes from. And it is primarily for Norfolk, since we have a long-standing record to share with you there. But if you're looking at Sunday and go, oh, Sunday's not bad, it's 60. We got some morning rain showers. The 60 is going to come in the morning, and temperatures will tumble down toward that 32-degree mark come Monday morning. But Monday should be sunny, sunny, sunny. Free vitamin D for everybody, but it's cold. Much colder on Monday once we talk about highs about 46 because the normal high is 51. So we're going to be about 5 degrees below average as we move into Monday. That seems to catch the attention of those who have to spend time outside. Let's talk about the headlines. I know we've covered a lot of this, but it's worth repeating for those that might be joining us late. A bit cooler on Thursday. Highs in the 50s, so that's the pullback. Then it's very, very warm to end the week on Friday and Saturday, highs 70 plus. And then we're tracking rain this weekend with temperatures that will fall on Sunday. I thought we did a good job there. We're doing great. Now the Thursday planner, tomorrow is going to be nice and bright, right? We could probably put a smiley face here. The sun's going to be smiling. And then we're going to add a few clouds. We're still mostly sunny at noon, but we're going to increase the cloud cover between 4 and 7. And I think we have a good shot of hitting 57 degrees with more clouds, just not as warm. I mean, it's warmer than normal. It's It's warmer than average, but it's not super warm enough to say as glorious as it was today. I don't think it'll be as glorious. And we'll see some clouds gathering, a mostly cloudy sky by 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Does that make sense? I'm doing my best to just kind of put it out there. Kim is echoing my thought here. It says here that it was great seeing Blaine. Yes, indeed. She writes, he looks amazing. It's been a journey, and he's chronicled that. He's done a great job telling that story, but we are so happy to have him back. So you definitely want to check out Blaine. You'll see him at noon at times, and you'll also see him in the mornings very soon. It could be tomorrow morning. I'm not sure because I didn't see his schedule, but he is back in the newsroom, which is also a real blessing. Michael Morris. Michael Morris is actually pointing out a weather, I don't know if it's a weather theory or just a weather expression that many people accept. In fact, of all the stops I've been to, and I started weather at NC State, so that's Raleigh. I actually got on the air at the NBC station in Raleigh. I hadn't even finished final exams, just so you know. That was way back many moons ago. So I was in Raleigh, then I went to Huntington, West Virginia, then I went to Rochester, New York, then I went to Philadelphia. I was there for 4 years. Then I went to Knoxville for 9 years. I was really there 15 with my own platform. I did some Lexington, Kentucky, 5, 6, 7, all these places say exactly what Michael Morris is saying. If you don't like it, wait 5 minutes. And what's funny, every time I go to a town, they would pull me aside, and say, hey, I want to talk to you. And they'd say, hey, I want to let you know we have a unique saying around here. And I go, really? What's that unique saying? Well, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes and it'll change. And I'll say, what's your name? They'll say what their name is. And I'll say, I've heard that in every town I've ever worked. It's really a combination of a warm front and a cold front. It's warm one day, wait 5 minutes, cold front comes. You know what I'm saying? So I hate to burst the bubble. It's kind of like when you're at a birthday party and someone pulls out the pin and they've got the big balloon and it goes. They don't like to hear. They like to think that in Rochester, they're the only place in the country where if you wait 5 minutes, it'll change. So they're like, no, that's unique here. And I said, no, I've heard that in every town I've ever worked. So there's some truthism to the weather expression, Michael. I appreciate the honesty. But I'm being honest that every place I've ever worked, somebody has pulled me aside. And they're under the impression that no one else says that except in their location. So there you go. I'm really putting it all on the table tonight, already. 7:57, we're going to 57 for a high tomorrow. 40% Saturday, 40% chance of rain on Sunday. Again, the Sunday rain will be in the morning. The series of fronts coming in like a receiving line at a wedding, right? We've got the rain and snow, then it goes up toward Pennsylvania. That's Friday, 7 o'clock. It looks like the rain's in Roanoke, rain's in Asheville, rain's in Atlanta by Friday night at 7. So if we move this a little bit further in, the front's now on the door of Huntington, West Virginia at 7 o'clock Saturday. We've got some rain. So let's zoom in a little bit tighter. I know that's a lot of movement there, but this will stop it here at 8 o'clock on Saturday. I still think 40% chance of rain will cover it. Again, if you're all about coverage, you're all about probability, I just think that the chance of rain is running about 40% both days. It's not as aggressive as it is here. If you're traveling to Asheville, traveling to Roanoke, traveling to Richmond, I think there's a better chance of rain up here as compared to the Outer Banks and Hampton Roads. We'll get some rain. Don't misunderstand me. But at 8 o'clock Saturday, does it look better or worse at noon? About the same. But does it look better or worse at 4? It looks even better in Virginia Beach. There's even less rain at 4. As I said, most of it's going to follow the trajectory to go from Asheville towards, say, D.C. I think that's really where the bulk of the rain will be. And then we'll have another opportunity very, very late Saturday night and into Sunday morning. And what that looks like is this front comes in like so. So by 9:30, church services are underway and it's still raining outside, but it will pull out probably by midday in most locations. When I mentioned the Arctic air, you need Arctic air, my friend, in order to get some snow opportunities. We talk about this quite a bit. I want to show you yesterday's map and then today's map. So yesterday's map looked like this. At 10, 11 miles up in the sky, it looks like it's promising. When you see warm air in red, that means cold air is pushed downward. So what warm air rises, cold air sinks. This is from yesterday, which was January 6th. But I think the problem is it's on the other side of the hemisphere. It's on the other side of the globe. You look at today, this is January 7th. This is today's map. This is not a forecast from NOAA. This is a 700 millibar temperature analysis. So it's what we're looking at. And I've said many times before, it's not too hard to figure this out from our remembrance of, and yours as well, from middle school, right? Because warm air rises, cold air sinks. And what's going to happen with this situation, I'm about to show you, it will displace the winds and eventually cold air comes down. It reverses. As it's a joke, it's like a cha-cha now, y'all. You bring down the Arctic air into the Great Lakes and into New England. Problem is, when you look at this map here, I think you're going to be really hard-pressed to get that cold air in Hampton Roads. I think it will follow this trajectory. They'll see more cold air is coming, don't get me wrong, as we move about 30 days down the road, and that would be February 7th. So I'm giving you a preview. By February 7th, the really cold air is going to be in the Great Lakes and New England. I just don't see it really in North Carolina or Hampton Roads. It may be colder, but like I said, I think we have, knock on wood, I think we've broken the back of Old Man Winter. I think the worst of it was to be front-end loaded. It's not to say we couldn't get some more cold air. It's not even to say we couldn't get some flakes or flurries. I just don't see much, right? I think once we get past the 19th of January, which is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I think Dr. King Day will be the inflection point. We're going to move toward a milder winter. You can see we got mild days even this weekend, right? But then it's quickly replaced with a little surge of cold air by next week. Told you it's freezing on Monday morning. But then there's another reinforcement of that cold. That looks wow. But just because you have cold air, remember cold air is dry, cold air does not mean a snowstorm. It doesn't mean the blizzard of 96 30 years ago this week. It was January 6th, 7th, and 8th, based on what I read from Wakefield. So if you remember the blizzard of 96, you got to have the fusion, like that with the Mike's Hot Honey, the fusion of cold air and moisture. And when it comes together, you get what we had on February 19th here. Remember the 11 inches of snow? Well, that's not what this is, right? This is just some cold air coming back into play, and I don't think I think the worst of winter is behind us. I've said that. I've been beating that drum since Halloween. It would be front end loaded. Now 8:02, you can see by the 17th, it looks like it's changing. Now, it's like little spokes of the wheel. It's like watching the tide at the beach. You can see there will be some cold air in purple, but it could very well be headed in the direction of Quebec and Nova Scotia and New England more so than it heads down here. We did have a cold December. I've mentioned this many times before. We finished 4.6 degrees below normal. That's remarkably cold when you factor in all the highs and lows. But so far, now we have what? 3 days above normal, 4 days below. And I think the above normal will outpace the below normal. So we're on track to have a very warm January relative to certainly where we were last month. Last month was exceedingly cold. Some people were really shaking in their boots when the high was only 32. But we've moved past that, thankfully. Some are happy about the fact we had some snow on December 8th. We had some snow on Veterans Day, the 11th of November. But today, we were 4 degrees warmer in Norfolk as compared to yesterday, and so it goes. Other questions, other thoughts? Let's see here. Taj Brown is following up with his note that he does not like the cold, hate the cold, only here for the snow, which we may not get. Exactly. I had a guy who worked, he was in sales in Rochester. I'm really dating myself now because I was there in the early 2000s. But he was a good friend of mine. He said, David, Rochester typically gets 100 inches of snow per year. That's an average. I never got the average. I always got 132 or 125. But I digress. He said, I just hate 50s. And I said, Brian, why do you hate 50s? He said, because you can't do anything with it. It's too warm for snow, and it's you can't wear shorts. So he despised 50s. This is a guy that lives near Lake Ontario. As far as I know, he's still there. But I found that interesting. Everybody has a perspective. And that was his that I thought I'd share it with you. By the way, 69 degrees today, 76 was the record set back when Teddy Roosevelt was in the White House 119 years ago, but we were a far cry from that today. 50 degrees, 9 o'clock is projected here, but follow the temperature forecast. We're in the upper 40s by 11, and by tomorrow morning, many of us will be in the upper 30s, inland Virginia, or low 40s. I'm expecting a low of 42. It could be colder on the eastern shore in both Northampton and Accomack County. We'll watch that at 36. But as far as the afternoon, I mean, it's nice. It's just not as warm as today. This shows 54 south side. I think we've got a good chance to get to 57 in Norfolk. Maybe a touch closer to that in Virginia Beach, but it might be cool in the 50s where you are, and I don't want that to surprise you, because even by 4 o'clock with more clouds, we're going to lose the heat pretty quickly tomorrow as well. But eventually we'll be back in the low 40s tomorrow night. If you haven't downloaded the free News 3 First Warning Weather app, what are you waiting for? It is there for the taking. Go to the App Store, Google Play. It also works great having multiple sources for information if you have a no-weather radio. It's battery powered. Your phone, like mine, sometimes needs to be recharged, and so it's nice to get the notifications at all times so you have a backup. Our flight delays apparently are in Phoenix tonight with over an hour. Is that weather related? I don't know. Let's take a look. Yeah, they've got some weather down in Phoenix as we're looking at a satellite radar review here over the last 2 hours. It looks like we've got rain coming through parts of Tucson and maybe not far from Phoenix. El Paso is getting some rain, and Roswell and other parts of New Mexico. If you look further north, you can find some snow. It would appear that it's snowing around Seattle, or actually not Seattle, excuse me, rain near southwest of Seattle, maybe some snow near the Cascades, Portland, Oregon, Eugene, Oregon, and also some snow in Northern California. If you're in the military and you're homesick, this image might be interesting to see. And there's also some wet weather going on, just leaving Maine now, but it looks like it's more rain, changing to a mix in pink across maybe Nova Scotia. But pretty quiet here. I don't expect much change there. But if you need evidence, I beat this drum a lot that I think we're going to see the worst of winter now in the rearview mirror, especially after the 19th of January. This will take us through the 16th. Now, focus on Virginia Beach for a moment. Let's just circle Virginia Beach. So we're over here. Everybody's on the same page. You tell me where and when the snow is going to get here, because I'm going to take you through the 16th. We got snow in Denver, got snow around Salt Lake City, but if I play this through for the next 10 days, I got some rain. I see some rain coming, but we had Star White last night asking for when's it going to snow? And I said, that's already happened. I mean, there's not a whole lot here. And if you look at this next image, it looks like it's snowing in West Virginia toward the end of this stretch of time. But really, outside of maybe a few flurries, I just don't see a whole lot in the short term. It looks pretty benign right through the 16th of January. Now, temperature right now, as of 8:07:50 in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, it's already 46 in Suffolk, Chesapeake 55 in Hampton. We have 52 right now in Smithfield and Poquoson. Our friends in Yorktown at 53. Surrey 57, Wakefield 45, Manteo 49, and if you look around the region, it's still in the 50s across many parts of North South Carolina and even into East Tennessee. Our friends in Knoxville at 55 degrees right now. So it's actually warmer by the tune of 5 degrees in Knoxville as compared to Virginia Beach. What is interesting is I believe we got warmer than Vegas today. Virginia Beach is at 50. But Vegas has been slower to cool. They're at 56. They're 40 in Salt Lake City. We've been actually pretty cool for a good part of the Christmas and holiday season of New Year's. But now the tide is turning and it's getting colder out west, as you can see Boise. And you can also see about 36 in Minneapolis, St. Paul. But if you're tracking some of this cold air like I'm doing for you, you can see in the blue areas in white, it does make a run down here, certainly later on this month. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's snow. It could mean just I got to put on a jacket again and maybe a warm jacket. But you can see there's still some evidence to my earlier question that we started this live stream, which was it's some like it warm in January, but will it last? The answer is no. It's not going to last. What we experience and will experience Friday and Saturday is more indicative of April 20th, not January 10th. That's for sure. Now, as you look at the Storm Climate Prediction Center, they are now putting some warm air back into California and into the Dakotas and Montana by the 13th to 17th of January, near normal for much of our region and maybe slightly above in that light orange area. This is what we call the 6 to 10 day outlook, temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. And if you carry it further to the 8 to 14 days, it'll take you through the 21st. It does turn colder. So we did mention it would be getting colder a little bit. But doesn't necessarily mean a snowstorm is knocking on the door. If that changes, I'll be the first to tell you. But right now, like an umpire at a baseball game, I'm just calling balls and strikes. It is 8:09, and I'm expecting a high in Saxis tomorrow at 54 degrees. Lots of sunshine in Bloxham at 55. Onancock 53, Chincoteague 51. Folks at the Exmoor Diner, 53 tomorrow, 52 in Cape Charles. Beautiful Cape Charles, Kill Devil Hills and Nags at 53. Love it. Manteo, Roanoke Island, Wanchese about 54. and 52 in Duck. Maybe grabbing some Duck Donuts. 60 in Hatteras and Ocracoke tomorrow, 54 in Rodanthe. We mentioned the Storm Prediction Center is a division of NOAA. They give us these thunderstorm risk categories, and anything that's dark green would typically mean isolated. So what do we see? Well, it looks like tonight there could be some isolated storms that are severe in Oklahoma City and maybe back towards San Angelo. That's the only green paint bomb on this map through tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. Nothing going on the East Coast. Now, this storm system that may grow, and you think just because we don't have snow, that just, I said a couple of days ago, last week or the week, I said, if we end winter a little earlier, I said it's going to open the door for severe weather earlier. So you've got this little patch, right? And we'll zoom in. But it gets even bigger on Friday. This is Thursday. Oklahoma City, isolated. Little Rock, isolated. Memphis, Tennessee, isolated. Even parts of Mississippi or northern Louisiana. Springfield, Missouri could find some isolated severe storms on Thursday. But watch what happens the next day. Now it really looks like we're in spring, doesn't it? Now we've gone to level 2. We've gone to yellow. What does that mean? That means scattered severe storms. We've gone from isolated to scattered. Now this is more like, this looks like a page out of the severe weather playbook, right? South of Nashville, they could have some severe storms that are scattered from Alexandria to Memphis. This is Friday. So it's kind of interesting. The humidity is on the rise. You get a clash of cold and warm air, and all of a sudden, game on, we're back to the Storm Prediction Center maps heading into Friday for the Deep South. Our futurecast looks pretty clear tonight. I don't see much going on other than some false echoes on the radar. 7 a.m. tomorrow, I mentioned it was going to be really sunny. Lots of sunshine by 7 o'clock tomorrow, and no matter, I see Rich is wanting to engage. I appreciate his note here. Appreciate all of you. He says, no matter the weather, be happy, be safe. I agree. Every day is a gift. Today was a gift, even though tomorrow's a little bit of a pullback into the 50s. We're going to race back to 70, 72 Friday and Saturday. It's a gift, right? I always said it's better than the alternative. It's better than being 6 feet under. I know it's kind of grim, but it really puts into perspective. Every day that we have on planet Earth is a gift, so let's enjoy it. That's how I view it. Maybe you do too. Lots of sunshine at noontime, but then we bring in a few extra clouds into Bertie County, Ahoskie, back toward Hertford County, Franklin, Sussex, Surrey. All these areas are going to have mostly cloudy skies. By this time tomorrow night, you can see there it looks like there's some breaks in the overcast, but it's still mostly cloudy. And that's the theme really for Friday. Maybe not to start, but certainly at lunchtime. Doesn't lunchtime on Friday, doesn't that look kind of gray? It sure does. It looks really gray, David. And I left a 20% chance of rain on Friday. And that could occur over here in the Eastern Shore in Northampton or Accomack County, or maybe it's over the Outer Banks because the deck will be shuffled. We'll have more intel by 5 o'clock Friday, but it would come second half of the day. Don't see much Friday morning, but maybe a spot of rain by the second half of the day, and there's more off the coast, it appears, by 11 o'clock Friday. But as I mentioned, once the front gets a little bit closer, I think the rainy area is going to be basically Asheville, Roanoke to D.C., that's 8 o'clock Saturday. Some of you have big Saturday plans, and if you're up early, you might want to carry the umbrella, but with a 40% chance of rain, I don't think we're really in the main swath of the energy. It looks like it's headed to West Virginia, really northern Virginia, southern Pennsylvania. If you follow the warm front, it's draped across South Jersey and Delaware and Maryland. By 4 o'clock, it may look like this. And by about, say, 9:30 Sunday morning, the last of the rain is trying to exit the Outer Banks, and that's the way it may go. But tomorrow morning, whether you're out there around the Wright Brothers Memorial, we should be in the upper 30s to 42 range. South side, 42, 39 Peninsula is about 40 for North Carolina. I got 39 for Ahoskie. Not as cold, obviously, for Duck at 47, 44 for Virginia Beach, 37 Wakefield, 38 Franklin, and a low temperature tonight, Newport News, around 41, Smithfield 40, 36 for Melfa. Tomorrow afternoon, big range, generally the 50s, a lot cooler on the eastern shore, about 50 for the peninsulas, 58 North Carolina, 57 Portsmouth. Still 60s are possible tomorrow. I know I mentioned a bit of a pullback, but some of the areas that are going to get cold tonight in the 30s have a chance to rebound because they're further away from the ocean's influence. Edenton will be nice in the 60s too, but you're looking at 53 here, 57 Portsmouth. I think we're about 57 in Norfolk as well. So those are the temperatures I expect for the afternoon. It is now 8:14, wrapping up at 58 for a high in Chesapeake. Our friends in Moyock, 59, and Matthews, 57 for you, 52 for Corolla. Here's your first warning, WTKR, News 3 7-day forecast. If you like variety, you like a potpourri, you figured it out. You've come to the right place. Spotty rain Friday at 70, the record high 74, so I don't think Friday's within reach. But I definitely think Saturday is there for the taking. We could slice out the 1957, replace it with 2026, just at the drop of a hat. We'll find out how that plays out. 60 and falling on Sunday, 46 on Monday. And notice, it's super bright on Monday and Tuesday, but the temperatures will take some adjustment. And some of you are like, I don't know how to dress, because I think it's even colder on Tuesday morning at 31. So frost will come back. It'll make a reappearance here in January. Just give it a few extra days. Oh, I love these pictures. These are the theme tonight is, in fact, Newport News. Charles Terrell, thank you for this great picture. As you can see, the beautiful view coming, the reflection off the water. Beautiful. I got another Newport News picture from Bradley Fullwood from our WTKR photographers group. Just beautiful with the clouds, mid-level, high-level clouds. And this is just on fire. Sandra, you did great. Love this picture from Sandra Snyder, Newport News. Just the beauty of Hampton Roads and, of course, the peninsulas. Can't dispute that. It's just a beautiful place to be, a beautiful place to live. Satellite radar not showing much now other than some radar noise. But just to recap, 57 tomorrow if you're just joining us, 70 on Friday, 72 on Saturday. I don't see a lot of rain here. I think it's going to be generally on average. You ready for this? It's going to surprise you. But I think we're going to probably get less than 1/10 of an inch. And we need the rain. I'll have the drought monitor for you, which comes out at 8:30 tomorrow morning. I'll have that for you on the stream, along with some pizza winners on Thursday. When we talked about the fusion of moisture and cold air and snowstorms, when we bring in the fusion of pure honey, 100% pure honey infused with real chili peppers and vinegar, you get what's known as the sweet and spicy flavor that's known as Mike's Hot Honey. Check it out on the Pepperoni Magnifico. That is Marco's. Marco's has this medium pizza on sale for $10.99 for our live streamers. All you have to do is go to marcos.com and use the promo code WTKR. That's our call letters, plus the word sunny, and it will discount you about $6.50, maybe $7. It'll save you some money if you'd like to try it, because I know there are a lot of people within the sound of my voice who've never tried Marco's. These are the 6 locations. I would encourage you to try it, because these are the 6 locations that will give you that discount. We got one on Kempsville Road in Chesapeake, one on South Battlefield Boulevard. That's one of the newer stores. I believe they opened up last September, I believe was when they opened up. Yep, and I got their picture right here. So this is the picture of the store on South Battlefield, and they're right across the street or down the street from Great Bridge Middle School. But you can see Marco's Pizza's numbers right there at the Great Bridge Marketplace number 2. So check them out. These places I mentioned are there for your convenience. And if you win pizza, and you could win tomorrow, we're going to give away a pizza for a year certificate. Your name could be on it, and if you win it, it'll come in your mailbox. Your name will be there, and you'll get one pizza every month with one topping for free. It's fantastic. The other thing we like to do, and I'll be doing as well, is giving away free pizza. So we got the other individual pizzas that we'll do as well tomorrow night. So there you go. There's my individual pizzas. Throw those out there. All right, so take that down for a second just to remind you, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or serious. It doesn't matter if it's sunny or serious. Just remember, every day is a gift. And make the most of it. Make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you tomorrow with some pizza winners. Take care.